Hello everyone, welcome to the first workshop in our Elevate You Springtastic workshop. I'm so excited to be here with you. If you're watching live, please put live in the comments, and if you're watching on the replay, you can put replay in the comments too. Either way, it's great. So I'm here, I'm going to be sharing some tips with you as you approach your season and getting ready for closet swaps. I'm going to give you a lot of details, and some of these things you may do annually, just once a year, and some things every season. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Carla McQuarrie. I'm an environmental engineer, and you may be wondering why an environmental engineer might be interested in closet swaps. And so I'm going to share a few statistics with you that I found so crazy. In the last 20 years, clothing sales have doubled from 100 billion to 200 billion units a year. And the number of times that an item gets worn has decreased by 36%. And clothing production actually has greater carbon dioxide emissions than aviation and shipping together. Okay, so this is really crazy to me. And as well, because there's so much waste from our clothes, they end up generating a lot of microplastics, because what happens is they go into a landfill, they break down, and then they end up leaching into our waterways. So looking at our clothes and making sure that we have a plan to be aware of what we need, what we have, is really, really important for the environment. And so hopefully some of these tips will help you kind of get stock of your closet and get organized, and maybe put you in a position so you don't need to be buying more clothes all the time, but also keeping some of those clothing out of the landfill. Okay, so we're going to get started right away. So you're going to see here that I've got a little bit, hopefully I don't trip on anything, because I've got a lot of props going on here. Just let me get my notes ready, make sure I don't forget anything. Okay, so here we go. There we go. Perfect. So I'm going to be showing you I've gone ahead and actually got some things ready to go, because I couldn't do a full closet sweep in my, in the live in the amount of time that I had. So I've kind of got some things ready for you. So if you look at my bedroom here, I've got all of my clothes laid out on my bed for one area of my closet. Okay, and that's a really important tip, because I've actually only tackled one area of my closet. A lot of people think that they have to do everything all at once, and if you were following Maria Kondo method, then you would. Her method is you dump everything out of your closet, all of your closets in your whole home, and you go through it all together. That method has never worked for me, so I'm going to share some of the tips that have really worked for me with a busy family, and how I can kind of chunk this up into manageable, palatable bites. So you're going to want to work with a particular section and actually take everything dumped out onto your bed, so that you can kind of take stock of what you have. And I have gone ahead and done that to one of my sections, and we'll go over there and start looking at it in a second here. Okay, so the key is going to be starting this process. The hack that I'm going to give you is having 4 different bins ready to go. So the first bin that I'm going to have here is just going to be my garbage bin. And even though when we're talking about clothing items, it actually could even be upcycled, because if you have some clothing that is torn, it's worn, we don't want to be donating it, because that just becomes an extra burden on the charitable organizations. So if it's clothing that's no longer useful, you can actually turn it into rags. And even if you're someone that potentially doesn't use rags yourself, like for example, rags in the garage for things like solvents or paints or any kind of glues. I know my husband, I'll never let him touch my EnviroCloths, because he's going to be using things that are going to ruin them. So that's when rags are really helpful, and you can get one more use out of them before they end up in the landfill. So you're going to have an item that is actually garbage. Now, just a little hack, if you don't use rags in your own garage, a great tip is using your Buy Nothing groups on Facebook. So everybody will have a local Buy Nothing. If you don't know what that is, just go to your search on Facebook, search for Buy Nothing in your local community. And it's a group, it's usually Facebook groups where people are just looking for things for free. And so I guarantee there is some mechanic or a painter out there that would love to have your rags if you don't need them. So if you have some garbage, you can even you don't even have to cut it up for them. Just say, I have some items that would be good for rags. Does anybody want them? And I guarantee they will be gone. And that's just giving them one more use before they end up in the landfill. Okay, the second bin that you're going to have is going to be your maybe bin. Okay, and this bin is actually a really, really critical part to this process, because a lot of the times we have trouble making decisions with our items because we just aren't sure. It might fit later. We might need it later. We might have a use for it. And so we kind of hang on to that and aren't ready to let it go. So that's where this bin is going to come in handy. What you're going to do is going to put it into that bin, set it aside until your next seasonal swap. If you don't go back to it in that 6-month period, then it's probably a good sign that you didn't need that item, and it's going to be much easier to move it to one of the other bins in 6 months from now. So that's going to be a really important part of having that bin will really help you. Okay. The third bin, this is a really fun one. This is going to be called your swap bin. Okay, so clothing swaps, I don't know if you've heard of this, but it's kind of a new phenomenon where friends, a group of friends will get together, they go through their closet, they take the things, some of those items that you're kind of hanging on to that are giving you a little bit of guilt because maybe you paid a lot of money for it, or maybe it used to look really good, or you've bought it and it just never really fit the way you wanted it to. That's where your swap bin can go into effect. So you're going to take these items, put them in this bin, you're going to get your friends to do the same thing, and you're going to organize a fun friend night. Get your friends together, you put it all out, and everybody can come. You can turn this into a charitable event as well, because you could say everybody pays $1 for every item they take, or $5, or whatever you want. And it's not just your clothing. You can add in jewelry, purses, shoes. So even if you have a wide variety of sizes, and if you encourage everybody to bring a friend with them, it kind of doubles the amounts of sizes that you have going on. So that's a really fun idea. I know that there's been a lot of people doing these kind of events, and it just makes it for a fun evening with your friends as well. So that's going to be your swap bin. And then your last bag is going to be your donate bag. So this is stuff that is good. It still has lots of use in it, but you just don't want it. Maybe it's not your style. You don't think your friends are going to want it. Now here's the thing. After your swap night happens, whoever hosts it, all of the things that don't go are going to be pulled together in a bag and end up in the donate bag anyhow. So this is just kind of giving it a chance to upcycle it before you actually end it into the donate bag. So having these bins are really, and now the fifth one, for those of you that maybe have smaller closet space, you may need a seasonal bin. And this is when you're actually doing your seasonal swap. So you take out your spring things and you put your fall things or any items. Ideally, we want to get you to a place where you take your closet space and you can actually work with all your seasons and all within your own closet. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to my closet, and once you get things emptied out, that's when it's going to get much easier to actually do your cleaning and kind of getting your cleaning in place. So let's head on over here. So this is the closet. So this is one closet that I haven't cleaned out, haven't got ready for today. But this is the closet that we're going to work on. So I've got it all emptied out here. Okay. And let's talk about now what we can do. Now we've got this blank canvas, but we still have some other little haggling on things. Like I've got an Apple TV in my closet. I'm not sure why, right? So these are the things that are kind of getting you to the point where you say, okay, this is kind of clutter that I've stuck into a closet. Now it's time for me to deal with it. I heard this quote once and it's never left me. Clutter is just an unmade decision. Right? Isn't that mind-blowing? Like that really is what clutter is. And we hang on to it. And what we don't realize is that it's actually giving us a lot of mental baggage with us too, because it's an unmade decision. And so the reason we leave clutter is because we don't know what to do with it. We haven't made a decision. And so it kind of is taking up space in your brain. And I don't know about you, but I don't have a lot of extra space in my brain. So getting rid of this clutter is going to like completely make you just breathe a lot easier. So take the time to go through and pick out whatever else is left in your closet. And now you see I've got like this blank canvas, and I kind of have, I'm going to tip this up a little bit. You can see I have quite high cabinets. And so the first thing I'm going to grab is going to be my EnviroWand, because of course it gives me that reach to get up here, get all these areas all up on top, right? So you can take your wand, you can use this side of it to kind of go over everything, fronts and backs of your closet to get all the dust off. So that's going to be your first step. Then you're going to grab your EnviroCloth, and this is when you can give, especially the fronts of your cabinets, give everything a quick wipe down, because of course this is going to remove everything from your surface. Now, I don't know about you, but sometimes the light comes into my house at a certain point and I'm like, what has happened in this home? There is fingerprints built up on this door that looks like it's a public washroom. I'm not kidding. And so what I love to do in that case is I will grab my cleaning paste, because all I need is just a tiny little dab. And I mainly focus on the area right here around the handles, because that's where usually the oil, all the fingerprints actually start to build up, is right in that area there. But because I also keep my jewelry in my closet, just a little reminder that this is a great chance to kind of touch up with your cleaning paste any of your sterling silver jewelry, right? So just a quick little once over with your cleaning paste, and look at that. Okay, so give new life into your stainless or into your silver jewelry. Okay, other product that you're going to want to use while you're doing this cleaning swap is your sports sign. And so one of the items that I have taken out here is going to be something like your jackets, right? Jackets that you don't always wear, maybe they're dry clean only, so they don't get laundered that often. The sports sign is amazing for actually spraying down the armpits and letting it work, let those enzymes work. And so get that done while you've still got everything out on your bed. Give it a chance to dry before you put it back into your closet. So sports sign is incredible for that. You're also going to use it for, maybe you have some shoes and some shoes that are maybe have a little bit of a smell to them. So just giving it a quick little spritz onto your shoes is going to be a great reminder, a great time to do that because you've got your closet all cleaned out. What else? Okay, odor eliminator. So what I love about the odor eliminator is I have it in my bottle diluted here already. So you dilute it 1 to 7. So what I will do is once I take all these clothes that have been sorted and I've figured out what is going back into my closet, you can kind of lay them out on the bed and give them a spritz. Let them sit for a couple of hours so that they get dry before you put them back in. And it just gives you a chance to kind of revisit them. I love these hangers for your closet. This made a huge difference when I switched over to these thin profile hangers. So take the time to kind of get it back on, get it nicely situated on your clothing, lay it out on your bed, give it a spritz with the odor eliminator. You can kind of do this in process and then put it back into your closet. And you're gonna find a lot of space savings happens with just by having these particular hangers. Okay, now I don't know if you know this, but we are also doing a little magic word for all of our guests that are watching, okay? We're gonna be doing prize draws for every single one of these lives. So the magic phrase for you is I want you to say, who could you invite to one of these swap parties? Like if you're having a swap party with a friend, so I want you to respond by saying, I'm going to invite so-and-so to my swap. Don't worry, you're not committing to anything. You're just getting yourself, start to think about who might like to do that clothing swap with me. So I want to invite so-and-so to my clothing swap. That's what you're gonna put in the comments right now to get yourself into that draw. These draws for all of the lives are gonna be happening Monday. You have until Monday night at midnight to get your comment in on the magic question for every one of the lives. Okay. Last, I also want to talk about Leather Shine is the other product that now you have your shoes out. This is a great time to touch up your anything. And of course, just in the essence of time, I went ahead and did this in advance. So I grabbed, these are actually my husband's Blundstones. So look at, this is what they look like before. 20 seconds with the Leather Shine and look at the difference. How scuffed. I'll hold it back so you get really good light. You can see there's such a great difference. So this is a good time to give a refresh to all of your shoes, anything like that that you might have at the time that you need to get a little leather refresh. Okay, I think I've covered all of my, oh, and then of course, once you've got everything kind of pulled out, then this is a good time around your closet to just use your mop, get everything cleaned up. But the secret's out. The number one product that you're going to want here in your closet is going to be your damp EnviroCloth. It's going to be used for absolutely everything. You can even use this if you notice a stain on something like a piece of clothing, you can use your EnviroCloth to get that stain out before you put it back. Okay, so I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you took a few tips from our very first workshop. So excited for the rest of the workshops happening today. We have 4 more today and 5 happening on Sunday. It's going to be amazing. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a fantastic Saturday.